and put them online by drawings and text, sort of like a mix. I found out I was a much better artist walking in the street than waiting in my studio to do things. So with the last tourist I went to China. China is the biggest production landscape of the world. And the production landscape are little hands. I mean, that's the treasure in China. This was in Guangzhou. And I asked some people to make a map of the city of Guangzhou, which is Canton. And as you can see, I only did the outlines, and they paper cutted the whole map in flowers, although there were very little flowers there. Okay, another possibility of mapping was this, that I made big posters in Cairo, where I sort of like drew maps in the middle, as you can see, and around it are small anecdotes and interviews and little stories. For example, this is Dahlia. And then we had a little Q&A, and that was just sort of like trying to get all this information in one thing. Well, afterwards, this takes so long. Oh, there's something else. I was also curious how people were looking at me as I was mapping. So I was not only interested in what I saw, but also how I was seen. So, for example, I had a white suit, especially in Cairo, and I wore it while walking. I also asked people to make portraits of me in a special workshop. This is a boy who was sort of mentally ill, I think. That's really sad. He's a really nice guy. So he made this portrait of me, and almost autistic in a way. But the outcome was very nice, because I had a questionnaire and I had little sculptures of me. So these were like portraits of how other people saw me. So, for example, what was your favorite time of year? This is Santawu, who came from Sudan. He said, well, your favorite time of year is childhood. This is a drawing, a walk through Cairo. Here I am the center, so everything, I'm just writing down, noting all the things that approach me. And you should think of Cairo as sort of like always way too much, like sound, movement. And here you see the splotch. I was hit by a dead rat. I don't know if Ayman is here. Yeah, he's sitting in the back. Ayman said, oh, it's probably an accident. Like somebody was on the roof and he threw a rat out. And I'm sorry. But other people said, well, you are noting things down. They probably think you are somebody who's going to tear down the neighborhood and build some big flats here. These kind of drawings I also did on my own city, which is Amsterdam. I was born here. And the funny thing was that I traveled wildly, but I never really traveled in my own city. So it took me a year to visit 41 places. See, this is the map of Amsterdam, but a very soft map. More like a Rorschach, in a way you can see whatever you want to see in it. And that's also a subjective experience. One place that I was always very curious about is Belmer Bayes. These are like white towers. So this is one of the cells. Local prison. Yeah, local prison. So this is a cell that I visited, and when I visit, I also speak with the people. This is a map of a place that I come almost every day. It's an Albert Heijn, a supermarket. There is also one here across the street. And it's very interesting to stay for a whole day in one store, because normally I go in and I go out. This is a map of a bookstore, also very interesting, because it's changing so much. For example, travel guides are a big booming business, and books on rock and roll and pop music are really like going down through of the internet. I also put in my own book here, but there was also a little corner which is the Middle East politics, which was like the dead-end corner of the shop. Also interesting that women's studies where used to have like 2 bookcases, were now only one, only a few books left. This is a drawing of an accident in Amsterdam. It's called een dode hoekongeluk. Happens a lot with women driving on bicycles, standing in front of the light. A big truck next to them won't see them and drives over them. This is the reason for many deadly accidents in Amsterdam. I spoke with somebody who survived it because he really shouted loud. It's like, ah! And this is how other people sort of like saw the bus driver. So it's a small door. Okay, here we are at the latest drawing. This is a drawing of a soldier who died in Uruzgan 3 years ago. And I made a drawing of his bedroom 3 years behind is later. His mother, oh, I missed my slide. His mother didn't move anything. That's it.